Welcome to the Kingspiration podcast. This is the place where you'll learn how to get unstuck and gain momentum in your life and business. Each week, we tackle the real aspects of entrepreneurship, personal development, relationships, and fitness. I'm your co-host, Ethan King, from Atlanta, Georgia, USA, entrepreneur, TEDx speaker, and best-selling author of Wealth Beyond Money.
And I'm your co-host, Justin King, no relation to Ethan, from Cape Town, South Africa, entrepreneur, speaker, and business growth strategist. Our journey crosses continents and cultures, sharing wisdom and experiences to propel you forward. Welcome to Kingspiration. Let's start the conversation.
So, off the back of our conversation last week in which I mentioned It Takes What It Takes by Trevor Moawad, I was going through my read-wise little one-liners and all my highlights this morning, and something really jumped out at me. And what it was, and it was a highlight that I had made, and It Takes What It Takes. And it says, you'll learn that champions don't think negatively or positively, they think neutrally. You'll learn that champions behave as if they have no choice. You'll learn that champions make detailed plans. You'll learn that champions visualize what they want. And you'll learn that champions lead themselves before they lead others. But what really stood out for me this morning was that line, you'll learn that champions behave as if they have no choice. And that's been running through my mind quite a bit today. It's 4 p.m. in South Africa currently, or in Cape Town currently, so it's been running through my mind a little bit. Ethan, it is 8 a.m. your side, 9 a.m. your side.
It's about 10 a.m. my side.
10 a.m. your side, okay.
Here in Atlanta,
so hopefully this will hopefully run through your mind a little bit for the rest of the day as well. But yeah, the idea that champions behave as if they have no choice. And what struck me about that is, I think it goes back to another one-liner that I love, and that's, are you interested or are you committed? And I think if you're interested, you feel like you have all these choices of, I feel like not doing it today, or I'll feel like doing it tomorrow. Whereas if you are committed, you do it now. You don't have that choice. So it's been going through my mind quite a bit today. So it'll be interesting to hear. You've just heard it now for the first time. What do you think that really means?
Yeah, the first thing that pops in my mind is the quote, failure is not an option. And that's definitely how winners think. What perplexes me, I mean, when I enter things and if I decide I'm going to take it on, like, and I don't mean to say this like in a cocky or arrogant way, but if I decide I'm going to take it on, then I'm going to finish it. Like, failing or not doing it is not an option. I mean, honestly, most of the time when we fail at things, it's just because we give up, or we stop doing it. We get tired of fighting, or we just change our minds, which is fine too. But, if you're going to really be committed to something, then you're not going to change your mind. You're going to finish it. You're going to do it. I guess to bring it to like a concrete real world example, last week we got this unexpected, like, huge order for a conference for some YouTube influencers. And we had to fulfill this order like overnight. So my staff, we weren't ready for it. We had to call, people had to work overtime. And even me, as the owner of the company, as the CEO, I had to roll up my sleeves and get in there. And I was like putting logos on these bags that was part of the order. And my wife, and we were just up late doing it because it's what had to be done. Now, somebody who doesn't have the same mindset that we do may have said, oh no, we can't handle that order. Or they may have gone to the client with an excuse the next day. Oh, we couldn't finish it. It's going to be late. Those type of things come to mind, but winners don't think that way. Champions don't think that way. And a poem that has stuck with me my whole life since I learned it in college in my fraternity days is, excuses are tools for the incompetent. They build monuments of nothingness. Those who choose to use them seldom amount to anything. So this was drilled into our heads, and it stuck with me for the past 25 years. And whenever an excuse is always going to come up. But if you get up in the morning and you want to go you need to go for a run, but you don't feel like it, you'll take any excuse, right? Oh, it's drizzling outside. It looks a bit cloudy. Oh, my ankle hurts this morning. You could find any excuse. But if you just remember that, and it sounds harsh, but yeah, excuses are tools for the incompetent. They build monuments of nothingness. You just push excuses out of your brain and you just do it anyway. And failure is not an option. But I love that quote about champions.
I really like that. But what you've got me thinking about now is, so it's one thing to get up and do something. You know it's on your list for today. You have to get up and you've got to get it done. But how much of a winner's mindset, or how much of the results that one achieves, the success that a champion obtains, how much of that is driven by the way in which they complete something, the way in which they do it? So if you've got to get up and go for your run, it's amazing that you've got up and you've done it and you've been for your run. But does a champion just get up and go for the run, or does the champion get up and go for a run and run an extra 2 miles or an extra mile at the end of the run? So is it a lot more? And that's maybe where the choices in that line comes from. The champion they behave as if they have no choice. They know that in order to succeed and be where they want to be, they have to go that extra mile. It's not a choice, and they're going to put in the extra work. Michael Jordan jumps to mind. Didn't he used to? Was it either before? It was before his practices. He would arrive and he would do it a few hours prior to everybody else getting there, and it wasn't a choice to him. He just knew that he had that blood of a champion pumping through his veins, and it was just what he did.
Right. Yeah. Either Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, probably both of them. But yeah, I think I heard a quote by Kobe Bryant the other day. He said, if you practice your craft, for him it was basketball, but 3 hours a day, every day, you are going to do so much better than the kid who just plays for 15 minutes, 3 times a week. Like you're going to play a magnitude better. That's how much he devoted his life to practice. And yeah, he's not going to not do it. So that's how champions think. Like, this is just like I'm going to eat every day. I'm going to practice basketball for 3 hours every single day. There's no choice about it. And, whatever it is that you want to accomplish, you have to put it into that bucket of your brain. One thing I teach in my Six Pack Dads program, it's like you have to put, and this is usually for guys who are middle-aged, way out of shape, never really prioritize fitness, or maybe they did a long time ago, decades ago, but now they've let things go loose. Well, you have to move the working out and the nutrition part into a different bucket of your brain. I'm not a scientist, so I don't have the psychological term. I'll have to research this, but like we have that bucket in our brain where we do things that are on autopilot, like eating, brushing our teeth, things like that are routine that we don't even think about. We just do them every single day. Well, most people put fitness in a different category. It's like, oh, well, I might do that when I have free time, when I get around to it. But if you move it to that bucket where, oh, I'm going to do this, this is part of my daily routine, it's a non-negotiable, then you're going to get it done. So whatever it is you put into that bucket, whether it's fitness or reviewing your finances or making 100 cold phone calls, sales calls for your business, or whatever it is that you move into that bucket is going to get done. And that, to me, I think that's where that champion mindset can really come in a tangible way.
I think a good way to perhaps sum up what you just said is it's who you are, not what you do. It's just
Right.
so ingrained that it's part of your personality. It's part of your character. It's who you are. It's not something that you actually do.
Right.
And that's probably the best way I can visualize it and think about summing that up on my side.
That's a wrap for today's episode of Kingspiration. We hope this conversation sparked insights to ignite action in your life and business.
We're on this journey together, sharing our challenges and successes to help all of us take the next step towards building momentum and ultimately reaching our goals.
If you found value in today's episode, please share it with someone else who might benefit and leave us a 5-star review.
And remember to hit subscribe so you don't miss out on our weekly conversations. Until next time, keep rolling, keep growing, and keep being inspired.